But we're going to begin with that disturbing video out of Texas. A bus driver spots a baby sitting in the middle of the street. It is a story first reported by our San Antonio affiliate, WOAI. Here's NBC's Janet Shamlian.
The overnight shift is usually uneventful for San Antonio bus driver Mike Hubbard. But on the night this video was taken, had he not been alert, things could have turned tragic.
From a distance, I can't tell exactly what it looks like a dog with something moving around. I can't really, tell what it was.
What he sees is almost beyond belief. A baby in nothing more than a diaper, sitting right in the middle of the road.
I was definitely in shock.
Not a soul in sight, no mother, no father, and no idea of what to do.
To me, he looked like 8 months old with a pamper just sitting there. I couldn't really tell if he was eating something or not, but I know his eyes got real big when he saw the big old bus in front of him.
Then watch what happens a few moments later. The child's father appears, picks up the baby, and walks off without a word.
And he came out of the house. From the door, from that whatever the house that was. He wasn't sitting outside.
It all happened last year to this little girl, Destiny Flores.
We had the door open, but there's a screen door, and I had the lock on it, but I don't know, maybe I didn't put it all the way, and she just snuck out. I really can't even tell you.
Gonzalez is now fighting to keep Destiny and her two sisters for issues the Child Welfare Agency in Texas say go beyond the bus incident. Destiny's mom says there are no other problems.
It was an accident, that's all it was. It could happen to anybody in the world, It was just an accident, that's all it was.
Luckily, I was there to protect that kid. Who's to say what could have happened?
Custody will be determined in the next few weeks, after a night a bus driver will never forget.
Bye, baby, be careful.
For today, Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Destiny's mother, Catherine Gonzalez, is with us exclusively, along with her sister, Lisa Barra, and bus driver Michael Hubbard. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Michael, if I can start with you. You're driving your bus through San Antonio last May. It's past midnight. When you spot something in the middle of the road, you finally realize it is a baby. What is going through your head at that point?
Disbelief. I can't believe what I'm seeing. At that time in the morning, I see the baby there sitting in the middle of the street. I was in shock.
Michael, how close did the bus actually get to the baby?
It looks pretty close, but in reality, I would say maybe 12 feet, 10 feet. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, so thank goodness for your quick reflexes. Catherine, I know that you have signed an agreement with Child Protective Services that does not allow you to speak specifically about Destiny. So let me bring in your sister Lisa to give us some perspective on what happened that night from your family's point of view. Destiny was just 14 months old. From what I understand, her mom and her dad, Roger Flores, were in the living room watching TV. What happened?
I know they had, with the furniture, first of all, was away from the wall, so there was a way for her to go through behind the sofa. What they had stated when they called me was that they were watching TV, the girls were getting ready for bed, and they were laying down, and they just heard the sound of the bus. And when that happened, that's when my brother looked out, and he just ran out there and he grabbed the baby, grabbed Desi, and ran in. I know at the time he didn't say thank you or anything because he was in shock. And that's when Roger went inside and Kathy, and they checked her to make sure everything was fine. Then they made the calls, called her mom, called me, called my mom. And it was a shock. It was just, we thank God that he stopped and he was there at the right time.
Yeah, Catherine, what were you feeling?
So we owe him a lot of thanks.
Absolutely. Catherine, what were you feeling when your common-law husband, Destiny's father, Roger, came running back in the house with Destiny and you realized that she had been in the middle of the street?
I was in shock. I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, how could that happen? We were in the living room. How can that happen? And it was just crazy. I was hysterical. I really was. I was calling everybody I knew, and I was hysterical.
And since then, I know, Catherine, that Protective Services has they've investigated your family. Last month, they took all 3 children away for a few days, returned them to the family. They say this goes beyond what happened with the incident in the street, that there are issues regarding Roger Flores, possible drug and alcohol abuse and domestic violence issues. Let me ask you, Lisa, again, since Catherine is not allowed to respond to this directly, is there anything going on in the house that would compel Protective Services to take away these children?
No, to be honest with you, my brother's had problems when he was a juvenile, from 14 until he was 20. And he didn't meet Kathy until 04, where they got together. So all this was prior. He was getting in trouble, but he wasn't diagnosed yet. So that's what makes it a little bit difficult. Their relationship was good. He raised Ariana since she was little. He's been a good father. He would do everything for them. He would cook for her. They had a very good relationship. And just when this happened, it's like there's a bombshell now. They're having to separate. Now they're no longer together. He can't see the kids. The drug situation, he said that he did have a relapse, which was March 15th, after he wasn't unable to see the girls since March 4th. And he did say he had a relapse, that he was stressed out already, that it was just too much for him, that if he did good, he was getting punished. If he did bad, he was getting punished. And all he does is he misses his family, and he says that he can't have them back. All we want is we just don't want the rights to be taken away. We don't want the kids taken away from the home. They are good parents. And it was just an unfortunate accident.
Catherine, if I could bring Catherine back in for a minute. Catherine, do you feel that your family has been vilified?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Do you feel that your family has been vilified here?
No, it's not that. It's just, it's been a lot, after this has come out. I've had, ugly comments to me stating that, I'm a bad mother, and I'm not a bad mother. Things like this do happen, and whether you think they do or they don't, but they do. It might not be it might not be the same situation, but stuff like this does happen, and it hurts me that other people out there have, bad things to say about me like that.
And I know people should know, Catherine, that you have been taking parenting classes since this.
I've done everything. I've done everything that they asked me to do. I have no drug history, no criminal history, nothing. All I do is work and take care of my kids. That's all I do.
And you've also moved to a house that's not on a busy street, is that correct as well?
Yes, I moved away from there because it was too busy, and I was afraid this was going to happen again. And so I moved out of there, and I'm no longer in that location anymore.
And you, as your sister said, you've had to separate from Roger, your common-law husband and Destiny's father. Do you anticipate that if you are allowed to keep the children, that the stipulation will include his not being allowed back in the home?
That's up to CPS. I don't know. That's totally up to them. I don't know how they're going to deal with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well,
my brother understands if they have to break up, as long as Kathy has the girls, then that's fine. But he said he'll do whatever he has to, even if it's going to break up a family that it was the 5 of them, for years. It's been the 5 of them for 6 years, and he'll do whatever, and it hurts him because he does love Kathy and he does love the girls, but he said he will understand if they have to break up.
Well, I know that this custody hearing is in June, and we wish you the very best. Obviously, it's the welfare of the children that is most on everybody's minds at this point. Catherine Gonzalez, it's such a hard time for you. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Lisa Barra, thank you as well. And Mike Hubbard, Thank you so much for being the one behind that bus, the wheel of that bus on that night. You saved a life. You really did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.